Good morning and welcome to the Sunday show for one final time, the final 10th commandment. I'm going to tell you all about that in a bit. As always, I'm with the very bright and smiling Doctor, financial Doctor of Goa, Dr. Celso Fernandez. Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
Good morning, Joed. Fine. It's a very good Sunday morning today.
Absolutely. Like always, you always make Sundays extra special, don't you? We have something to learn. I want to talk about the incredible journey that I've had being a part of this mission of financial literacy of the Nave Marg Foundation. How's it been for you?
Definitely, it was a very exciting week, especially now all these days when we have been conducting these sessions, the 10 financial commandments being the last one today. Definitely the response from the audience has been very good. We have getting a lot of views on our YouTube channel. And definitely the results are showing. People are understanding about finances.
Absolutely. And I think when you set out on this journey, that's what you intended to do. You know, you wanted to educate one person at a time how it is to be financial literate or how you can be financial literate, right? The solution to every problem, literally.
Definitely. That's what it comes in our tagline. No, financial literacy is the only weapon that can eradicate corruption.
I was going to say that, but you said it again. And I still remember that big hoarding I'd seen in Bambuli. That was the first time I read that hoarding, and it didn't make sense to me initially, but then you put it into perspective for me. Nave Marg is a part of financial services, but the Nave Marg Foundation has been doing some tremendous work, philanthropic causes all the way from 2015, and I think you're registered in 2017. Yes. Tell us a little about those causes that you were a part of.
Well, the actual focus has been on sanitation as well as the health environment. So the first thing we did up was actually identifying schools where the toilet facilities are very poor. So like this, we identified quite a few schools, that is right from 2015. And it was only in 2017 that we took it at a higher level wherein we could actually fund much more. Mm-hmm. So in 2018, we built a football ground for Kiran Niketan School at Zwarinagar.
Okay.
That we spent almost around 6 lakh rupees.
Okay.
And then after that, we started with our own college, the Terry Coastal Education Hub at Goa Velia, where we funded almost around 40 lakh rupees for that. And then soon after that, we built a toilet block at St. Aloysius School, Benaulim.
Okay.
There also we had quite a big response from it. And of course, this year in the month of February, we inaugurated a full football stadium. It's a football arena for Our Lady of Green Rosary, Donapaul.
Yeah, I've been to that football arena over there. Doctor, it's always been about the cause for you, right? Financial literacy, and like in this, what a genuine cause. Sanitization, so important. Something we have all been speaking about in 2020 as well. But it's so important in our school structure also to have these clean toilets, and for our students when they go to study, they need these clean toilets, and you all have been doing that. For that, a big shout out and a big thumbs up to the Nave Marg Foundation. There's one more cause that he was recently part of, actually this week itself. So we'll tell you all about that in a bit. But once again, I want to thank the Nave Marg Foundation for having me on this journey of these financial commandments. There's so much that I learned from you, Dr. Celso, and your team as well. And now for the 10th financial commandment.
Yes.
I'm feeling a little sad. It's the final financial commandment.
No, but it's the most important one.
I know it is, but I'm sad that I won't get to see you anymore.
Don't worry, we'll see.
Well, that's Dr. Celso. Don't go anywhere. He'll be back in a bit. Financial commandment number 10, the final one. Rich is not how much you have. It is how much you give. Let's begin with the story of Travis.
To excel in academics or sports, we need a good teacher or coach. Similarly, to attain financial independence, students need a financial mentor. You could be the first financial mentor to your child and teach them the basic tenets of financial discipline. Now, in the previous 9 chapters, we have shared with you the 9 commandments to attain financial freedom. The stories that many of you would find as your own. Now, the last financial commandment dealt with the rational, social, and spiritual reasons behind wealth creation. So, let's discover with Travis, why must one toil to create wealth? Travis stared intently at the spinning top whirling gracefully on his office desk. He used the top to calm his mind. Of late, there was something that perturbed him constantly. What's the end to accumulating wealth? He asked himself. At 45, Travis had a loving family, a successful business, unshakable credibility, and well-earned respect in the society. He also had about $1 billion in his portfolio. Uncle George, Travis's godfather, had started grooming him as his life coach and financial mentor when he was just 10 years old. Much before his schoolmates began to speculate what their future would behold, Travis had already learned the tenets of financial discipline. He invested his pocket money in mutual funds through SIPs and spent cautiously, always putting his needs before wants. Uncle George, who guided him financially, also contributed to Travis's SIPs. Intelligent, hardworking, and patient, Travis grew up with the rare privilege of choosing his career, as he did not need a salary to support himself. Always fascinated with commercials, Travis opted for an MBA in advertising from a reputed college and worked with top ad agencies before starting his own ad agency. His skill and love for his field helped the agency grow meteorically. All this while he diligently invested substantial sums in mutual funds through SIPs. Having nurtured the portfolio from a little sapling to a self-sustaining tree, Travis didn't stop investing. As a result, his portfolio kept growing at a remarkable pace and gave very high returns each month. The portfolio alone could have easily covered all of his household expenses had he decided to retire. Now, Travis could see his portfolio growing exponentially, yet it didn't give him a lot of pleasure. Having earned substantial wealth at a relatively young age, Travis did not know what he would do with all this money that he knew would keep growing. Finally, to put his worries to rest, he did what he always did when in doubt. He called Uncle George. Later that week, Travis drove to see his godfather, hoping to get the answers to the questions in his mind. Uncle, you know how much my portfolio has grown. It is good, I know. But now that I am rich, I don't know what to do with all the money that keeps adding to my wealth, Travis exclaimed. Uncle George chuckled hearing this. What makes you think that you are rich? Uncle George smiled whimsically, clearly enjoying the session. Travis was a bit surprised to hear the question. I am rich because I have a lot of money, Uncle, and I don't know what to do with more and more of it. Uncle George put an arm around Travis and said, Dear Travis, rich is not what you have, but what you give. Now, Travis was befuddled and didn't attempt to hide his confusion. Uncle George explained to him that having the resources to help others was a rare gift. Travis, long back as a little child, you planted a money plant and took great care of it. Now, it is a full-fledged tree that keeps bearing fruits. Of course, you don't need all the fruits for yourself or your family. They are simply too many for you. Travis nodded in comprehension as the wise old man added, eating up all the fruits was never the plan. Being able to earn enough to freely help your community was the whole point, right from the beginning. Uncle George told Travis that he had been contributing to key environmental and social causes without having to worry about his financial position. See, Travis, I live in style and have ever-growing wealth that not only takes care of my family but also allows me to give back to society and our nation. Hearing his mentor, Travis felt his mind widening its horizons to new possibilities. Yes, this is what my life had been building up until now. How many times had I thought of helping others? Now I can. Travis had found his calling in life. As he hugged Uncle George before leaving, the old man whispered in his ears, Son, one man can make a difference.
Well, we're still here on the Nave Marg Foundation live YouTube channel. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for staying with us. Also with me is the financial doctor of Goa, Dr. Celso Fernandez. Dr. Celso, at an early age, or you can say at a young age, at the age of 45, Travis learned the meaning of actually being rich. It's not about what you have for yourself personally, but it's about how much you give to others, right?
That is true.
And that's what the Nave Marg Foundation also has been doing. So to put that into perspective, also I want to talk about the other project. But in the epilogue as well, you mentioned the difference between heaven and hell. And you can find heaven and hell here on planet Earth as well while you're alive, right?
Definitely. That is exactly what we have explained. See, being rich is not how much you have. Being rich means how much you give. Now, what I have understood is between heaven and hell. This is from my own perspective and what I have understood about it. Heaven is basically when others pray for you. Hell is when you pray for yourself.
True.
Very, very easy to understand.
Yeah.
So now, if you make a difference to someone else, someone who is less fortunate than you, and you bring a smile on his face, and that person starts praying for you, you can actually experience heaven even when you're alive. You don't even have to die for it. But in the other way around, if suppose by chance you keep everything for yourself, even though you're blessed much more than the others, and even to give something to someone else becomes very, very difficult for you. Actually, to experience heaven is very difficult in these cases. I'll give you typical examples. Like say for example, I was buying from a fruit vendor a dozen of bananas, and he quoted me 35 rupees for this dozen.
Okay.
By chance, I just said, you keep 50 rupees, the balance you keep it for you, because you are working hard. You won't imagine the smile on his face, and the way he felt it was very good. And I myself could make out that I have made a bright smile on somebody else's face by just giving that 15 rupees extra. And let me tell you, if it was just the opposite, from 35 I had to bring it down and bargain with him and say, no, give it for 25. I would have taken it, but when I take it, he would have cursed me for it. That is what is hell. When others curse you, you experience hell. When others bless you, you experience heaven.
Well, that's the difference between heaven and hell. You know, apart from being a financial mentor, I think you're more like a life coach as well to all of us tuned in, to myself as well. For that, we need to thank you, Dr. Celso Fernandez. It's been an absolute pleasure, you know, spending these last few episodes with you and learning so much from the Nave Marg Foundation, your team, and from yourself as well. Final question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, before that, in fact, I must also say that it was a pleasure having this program actually along with you, because you have added the vitality to this program.
Okay.
In the sense, see, just one person doing it doesn't add, but the flavor that you added, it's like the masala that you added for this program has really made this program very interesting.
Okay.
And it was a pleasure to have you for us for the last 10 commandments.
Thank you, Doctor. It's been my absolute pleasure. You know, it's been a learning experience for me. I've learned so much, and an absolutely out of the world experience teaming up with the Nave Marg Foundation. And I'm pretty sure we will do a lot more in the future. For all that, you need to stay tuned to the Nave Marg Foundation live YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel as well. But I want to talk before we end about the project that you recently were a part of.
Yes, we have just taken up a new project for this month. That is Our Lady of Sacred Heart in Carmona. Their toilet conditions was very bad, so we have taken up this project now for this month, and within this month of November we should be completing it. So we just got the quotations from the contractor. So we are working on these quotations, and we will be actually launching this project this time for the first time through our foundation website, Nave Marg Foundation website. So even our clients as well as donors can actually do a direct payment, because on the website the whole cost will come, and as you donate, the cost will reduce.
Okay.
So if you can find out, go on our website and see the project, we have the photos uploaded. So you can see the photos and you can do a direct payment through the website along with your card.
Well, like Doctor said, there are two websites now, the navemarg.com, which is all about the financial services, and navemargfoundation.com, which is about all the philanthropic causes Nave Marg is all about. And winding up, you know, should we do a contest question for today?
Yes, definitely. You can do it.
It's the final episode. Now, we won't be able to announce a winner because we don't have another episode coming up in the near future. So we will leave the winner's name in the comment section. But for that, you need to answer the question. And how about you ask the question? You want to ask the question or let me ask the question?
You can ask it, no?
Okay. So what is the difference between being wealthy and being rich? Now, we want to know your understanding from the financial commandment and from what Doctor spoke about today. So it's an open-ended question. Whatever you feel like is the difference between being wealthy and rich, sound it off below in the comment section here on the YouTube channel, and we will pick a winner and will be also mentioned in the comment section, who will also win a prize. Yes, don't forget that as well. Doctor, thank you so much for having me on board with the Nave Marg Foundation and the Nave Marg team. It's been an absolute pleasure. I learned so much, and I really look forward to seeing you soon. And let's continue on this financial literacy program that you have in mind for Goa.
Definitely. And we cannot afford to forget about Chris and all.
Absolutely. We've been having all our studio sessions here at the Magic Touch Studio in Margao. For that, we need to thank the Patrao. Chris, he's here. He's not on camera, but he's working behind the scenes. Thank you, Chris. And once again, thank you, team and Nave Marg. Also, thank you to Kendrick, who's been behind the camera as well, who's a little shy of the camera. So Kendrick is someone you'll also find at the Nave Marg Foundation, part of the team as well. Also, Doctor's son.
Keval.
And Keval. We cannot forget Keval, right? He's the guy who's behind the scenes also working on all these YouTube videos as well. Thank you, Keval. And thank you to all of you for joining us on this journey. And we hope that you continue to stay a part of this financial literacy journey of the Nave Marg Foundation. We all can do it together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you.